Hi everyone, and welcome to our next example in our series of videos focused on how you can use the REST API to enhance your contrast experience command. Our next example is how to create a new admin user in the team server. This command is very useful if you have a list of users that are stored externally somewhere and you want to import everyone into the team server. You can run this command and loop it over every single user just so that they're imported into the team server. So let's break down this command and see what's going on. We'll have to fill in the colored values in this command with values that are specific to your own team server. The first one that you'll have to do is authorization and API key, which is what we had to do last time as well. The next one that's different from the previous example is that we have a JSON block of the user details that we want to write in the team server. This is taken directly from the API page, which I'll show in a second. But some of the fields that we need to specify here are first name, of course, what the name of the user is. This groups field is actually the index of the group. So you can find the index if you log in to team server and you click on the group itself, and it's the index at the end of the URL too. So group number 1 is just a default group, so I've just created that. You can change that for your own case. The next one we need to specify is last name. Organization management, time format, and time zone are all pretty self-explanatory. Username is the username that this user will log in with. So this is most likely going to be their email, but you can change that here if you'd like to. And the last field is the role. So the role, again, is same as groups, is just the index of the group that, of the role that we'd like to assign to this user. Role of 1 is an admin user, so which is the goal of this example, so I just specified it at 1. Again, you can find the index if you click on the role, and then in the URL you'll see what the index is. And there's also other API commands where you can get all the roles and all the indices for each role, and you can create a nifty little script that way. And then lastly, we have our endpoint that we're going to hit again. This is also taken directly from the API page. So we're back here at the API page. So let's go down to the users and see what we can do with users. Okay, so we're doing this one. A post on users, which allows us to create a new user. As you can see, the endpoint is just ng org uuid users, which is what we had. And here we have our body object, which is what was in that example. So it's just all the fields in that same example. And so you'll need all of this, and then you'll also need your API key and the authorization key as usual. And here, this is where you can enter in your org ID. So let's try running this, and let's see how it goes. So I'm back in my terminal here, and for this one, I actually have a command that is pre-made. So let me copy that over to the terminal. This is the same command that's in the PowerPoint, but it just has all my values filled in. So let me just walk through it really quickly. So again, we have a post. Authorization is my authorization hash, same as up here. API key is the same as up here. Content type is a JSON. This is where we're creating the user. We're specifying the values that we want to create the user with. So API only true. I'd like to change API to false, actually. I want to make it a normal user, so I'll just set that to false. Date format, that's okay. Enabled is true. First name, I'd like it to be Peter. Groups, I'll actually set it to 4, which is just a group index that I have. Last name is Peter Piper. So this user's name is Peter Piper. Last name is Piper. Org management is true. Time format, time zone is PST. And username, I'd like it to be peterpiper2@contrastsecurity.com. The other Peter Piper already has the original email address, so this one has to be 2. And role is 1, meaning that this user will have an admin role. Lastly, I have my URL here, which is my hostname, port, and the organization UUID, same as up here, and just users. So let's run this command and see how it goes. Great, so success is true. User Peter Piper 2 was successfully created. It's enabled and looks like everything looks good. So let's just go in the team server and make sure that he is actually there. So I'll go over to users here. Nice, there it is. Peter Piper 2 at contrastsecurity.com. You can see we're still waiting on his invitation to accept his account and actually reset his password. But he's in the team server, and that's what the goal of the REST API was. So that worked well. So that was a good example of how you can create new objects in the team server with a little bit of a complex API command. We not only just had to make the command, but we also had to specify the data that we want to write to the team server in this -d flag here. So there are many other endpoints that allow you to add objects into the team server, whether it's new group. So those will follow the same basic format here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next video where we go over another example of how you can use a REST API.